What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I'm Poetry. You are here for PNTV. It's Poetry News and Twisted Views. This is technically a part 2, but I may only put this part up. I explained in part 1 just in case I don't put it up. That if I'm talking kind of funny, it's because the dog ate my tooth. Okay? So those of you who have not been here before, you don't know I have a fake tooth in my mouth, and my dog ate it. So I was going to have a hard time saying words that have P, T, and S in it. And it may sound a little bit funny, but we're going to get through this, okay? So I did a whole PNTV earlier today. And I started out talking about the Cat Williams situation. And I realized that I spent too much fucking time on that shit. I gave my opinion on what I knew to be false. I gave my opinion on what I thought to be false. I gave my opinion on what I thought to be real. There was absolutely nothing in the situation that I knew to be real. I was speaking on the bandwagoneer people who are saying that stuff is being done. He stole his joke verbatim. And if you listen to both jokes, they're not verbatim. I spoke on all that shit earlier today. But what got me is that by the time I got to work, I realized that was all I had talked about, and I got pissed off. So that's why you may not even get that part of the PNTV. Because I think there's some things going on right now that is so much more important to our way of life that I'd rather talk about. And I know a lot of you don't like to talk about politics, but a lot of you get your political topics from me. Not necessarily get a deep dive on what those political things may mean, but you get your political topics and you at least get my opinion about what's going on some of them. Okay, so today is January 4th. This in 2 days. No, today is January 5th. Tomorrow marks the 3rd year anniversary from which the insurrectionists tried to take over the U.S. Capitol. There is going to be a commencement speech or something. I don't even know what to call it, a commencement speech. Biden is going to give a speech about the state of America on that actual day. I say commencement because they're kind of commemorating the actual event in history. He's going to give a speech on that day, okay? One of the key things that's going on that you may or may not heard about is that all this week, state capitals nationwide have been receiving bomb threats, either by phone or by mail. Email, sorry, not by mail. By phone or by email. A lot of police departments in these same states that the capitals are being targeted are also receiving bomb threats by either phone or by email. Now, the FBI has concluded, or they have stated, that these are hoax threats. And they have not been able to substantiate any of them. They have evacuated a lot of state capitals, and they have evacuated some of these police departments looking for evidence of these so-called threats, which they have not found any. I caution to use the word hoax. I would like to just say that the threats were not credible, that these threats were people crying wolf and people giving out warnings. Do you remember the movie Malcolm X? Or was it just called X? And the scene right before Malcolm X got shot, there was a guy sitting out in the audience saying, "Get your hand out of my pocket. Get your hand out of my pocket." And nobody understood what the fuck he was doing. And then later on, Malcolm X was gunned down. These threats to me are to get your hand out of my pocket. They are random and wild, and they make no sense at this particular time, but they are indeed a warning. It may not be a credible warning, but there's a warning. It's a distraction, but it's not an actual warning. A distraction to the point where if so many threats get called in or emailed in, that causes the law enforcement to have to investigate, then at some point they're gonna, like I say, think that they're crying wolf. and they're not going to take them as serious because, again, they're already considering them to be a hoax. Who do I have? Let me get my list. Okay, so if you were unaware, the state capitals in Connecticut, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, Wisconsin, Hawaii, Maine, Oklahoma, Illinois, Idaho, South Dakota, Alaska, Alabama, Maryland, and Arizona all received threats. Majority of them happened on Wednesday. That's a lot of doggone state capitals that are being evacuated due to bomb threats. The day after the state capitol complexes nationwide had to be evacuated because of these threats, there were several state representatives receiving threats on their lives as well, in addition to the lives of their family members. And this was done also via phone calls and or email. So far, each representative that has been targeted, they have not found the direct threat. And so the FBI, again, is chalking it up as hoax threats. Hoax is something all right, y'all, I'm not sure why my camera cut off, so hopefully I got enough space. I don't even know where I was at this particular time. Oh, the funds that he was accepting are from the main funds that he accepted are from countries that have authoritarian dictatorship or leadership. Those that are technically not part of United Nations and things like that. A majority of the countries that he accepted these funds from are not allies. Why would his business be accepting money from these companies or these countries? And like I said, all these funds were accepted while he was president. And of course, like I say, the Republicans are trying to make up excuses of why it's okay for him, even though this is the same thing that y'all are trying to pin on Joe Biden. And y'all still to this day have yet to find any connection with Joe Biden, accepted any funds from any foreign country for his business use or profit or anything of that nature. I think they even try to use the fact that, well, he only keep the profits or something like that. His profits only went to such and such place. It doesn't matter. It says he's not supposed to take any type of funds and or transactions. Maybe I need to turn my doggone air on. I don't think my phone hot, but maybe it is hot. Okay, so because this happened back during his presidency, for me, I think, this is my opinion, that these funds were used or were going to be used to fund this government takeover that we now see him currently on trial for or pending trial for. And it's amazing to me that they did a poll. I'm not sure, again, I don't know who the hell they be polling, but they supposedly did a poll, and 25% of the people that they polled are still saying that the FBI is responsible for the January 6th insurrection. Now, there may be some members that had something to do with it. Now, you never know. Because I still say some of his Secret Service agencies had something to do with it. We already see all the different evidence coming out against his cronies. Giuliani and Eastman and Roger Stone. And we already see all this evidence coming out against them. So it's possible somebody in the FBI may have had something to do with it. Oh, somebody's base is booming. God, and it don't even sound good. But I think that's what's going on. This moment, this time, is being funded. He had already planned on doing this, in my opinion. before he even got elected, because I spoke on this before, this was already in the works. They're already trying to tear down our democracy in this country. One of the other things that happened the other day that doesn't seem as significant in regards to the political state. All right, my phone keeps cutting off. It's getting dark. I'm gonna try to get through this. So, I forgot where I left off. I'm sorry. But, basically I'm saying this week, especially tomorrow, be very cautious out here in these streets. Be very cautious for us, like paying attention to the news, smaller things that you think are only dealing with whether we want to get dumb Donald locked up or not. Look at what they are, and look at how they are affecting us as a people, and look at who the players are. We already heard dumb Donald say on national TV that if he is put back into power, he's going to come on day one being a dictator. I mean, he's already gave us a little taste of it during his presidency. There is a new party that has been around for about a year called the Unlabeled Party. They're trying to become a third party ticket on the presidential campaign. And there's a lot of people I see in the comment section saying they can't stand Biden, they can't stand Trump. And every person that I ask, unless I overlooked it, not one of you have answered me when I said, what is it that Biden has done that makes you hate him or dislike him? Not one person. So if you were one of those people, that was a real question. That wasn't rhetorical. I want to know, when you say that you're not voting for Trump or you're not voting for Biden, I need to know what about Biden has got your panties in a bunch. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to discuss with you. I'm not going to try to convince you. I don't know. I want to understand your point of view, where you come from. Is it just the Palestinian war? If that's it, that's what you're basing your whole voting process on, that one event. Every time that there's a presidential election, there's war. Either war or disease. And we got both right now. We still got the war going on in Ukraine, which the Republicans in Congress have been repeatedly denying funding to. If Russia takes over the country of Ukraine, they will be essentially annihilating them in the same fashion that the Palestinians are being annihilated by Israel. That a lot of you seem to be upset about. And some of it rightfully so. Some of it I don't agree with. But they keep coming to the table saying that they will only agree to send more funding to Ukraine if Joe Biden agrees to do more border patrol measures. And each time he's come in with new border patrol measures in his negotiations, they knock it down. It's just a delay tactic. And that's all I've been seeing with the Republican Party, is delay tactic, delay tactic, delay tactic. We see the best example of it with Donald J. Trump. He is appealing to the Supreme Court that he should be immune from all acts as president. Like, when the fuck did that start? That's not how democracy works. That's not how democracy has worked in this country. The president is not immune from criminal acts. What are you doing? Where are you going? Okay. He's not immune from criminal acts, but he needs the United States Supreme Court to tell him so. If the United States Supreme Court agrees that he is immune, they have basically helped him begin his dictatorship. Because that means that he can do anything he wants to anybody at any time without consequence, which means that he can take out his opponents. Same thing that's happening in Russia. Putin is currently up for re-election right now, but they have imprisoned his political opponent. You know what I'm saying? It's really disturbing to me the lack of interest that a lot of our citizens have in regards to what's going on. It's not simply about locking Trump up, because I personally, and I normally don't even, agree with removing folks' way of breathing. However, I 100% agree that he should be tried for treason. And if you don't know what the punishment for treason is, look it up. I do not believe that locking him up is going to fix anything. Do you know how many gang leaders are locked up? People head of crime organizations are locked up and are still making an impact outside of those jail cell walls. I do not believe locking him up is the end all to the be all. I said that years ago, and I stand 10 toes down on it. What I did find out, though, that I did not know, that of the January 6th insurrectionists, over 700 of them have pleaded guilty. Not to insurrection, but to, I guess, the vandalism, the assaults on the Capitol itself, the assault on the faculty and staff, and the people that were there. They have pled guilty, which some of those have went to jail. Not all 700, but some of them have went to jail. Of the ones who didn't go to jail, they still out there, which means that they still can act again. I tell you, just from my experience, I don't know too many people who commit heinous acts or criminal acts that do it one time and wash their hands of it. Something that large scale, I do not know of a single person. Not in history books, or not in personal, in real life, in my life that I know. Not one, including myself. Just be very mindful and very cautious. Keep your eyes and ears open. Watch all the entertainment, the laughing, joking, comedy. You can do more than one thing at one time. You can enjoy the hysterics of Cat Williams while still being politically alert about what's going on in this country that's going to affect us in this country. It's not just foreign policy that's going on. We talking about this country. I'm at home. I don't want y'all to know where the hell I live. Cover up my community board. Still trying to cover it up until I get all the way through the gate. So it's getting dark out here anyway. Alright. So let me get off here. And this been PNTV. Like I said, I may not even put up that first version. That is all about what my opinions on the Cat Williams situation. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. And I like to talk to y'all. And I don't really want to talk about that shit no more. I really don't. And like I said, there's a lot of points in there that he made that I may agree with, but there's a lot of it I was like, I call bullshit. And that's plain and simple. Yeah. Let me get off here for y'all know where the fuck I live at. Then I have to whoop y'all ass for coming up to my goddamn door, being stalkerish and shit. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.